Hello, Jase here. Why is it some self-publishers in this market today are making sales and then some self-publishers aren't making any money? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why, because I've got both. And then I take the guys that aren't making sales into the realm of making sales in this market today. Okay, so it's a learned skill. You don't need to be anything special. The guys making money now, at least my students and my clients, they're not writers, they're not authors. They've got a full-time job. Some of them got full-time businesses. They're doing this in their spare time. They're doing simple books that you can create in hours, not days, and they're making money. So let's get into this. Oh, by the way, I'm Jase Perry. I show busy professionals how to make self-publishing income in their spare time. We'll get rid of the rubbish, just get you doing what actually moves the needle, okay? I'm buzzing today. I've had my coffee, just got back from the beach. I've had seawater all over my face. Great way to start the day. Okay, so let's get started. These two guys, they've got my program and they're making sales. They're brand new to self-publishing and they're making money already. Right, if you just want to jump in, by the way, into my program, I'll leave a link below. The bottom guy, John, I believe he said he's brand new, never published before. He started publishing to my program. Now he's sold 6 books without advertising. Now that's even good by my standard, because I always say you need to advertise. Okay, and he's doing it without advertising. And the lady at the top, I know her name's not Nick Knack or whatever she's put it there, but she's made nearly $1,000 in gross sales, driven by mainly one book. Now, what are these guys doing that other self-publishers aren't able to do? Because I get a lot of people through my program, up to, I must be about 1,000 now. I haven't checked, but I must be 1,000 now. A lot of them aren't making sales. Okay, then they learn the strategies and then they apply the strategies. They need to apply it, then they're making sales. So what are these strategies? What brings someone, what is it that gets you sales in this market today? I think this will really help this video, okay? I call it iceberg sales, okay? Because if you imagine an iceberg, imagine this is the water here, and then there's the iceberg, that, and we call this bit here the tip of the iceberg. That there is your sales. So the sales is like the last thing. The money you make from your books, this is very important to know, is like the last thing that happens. It's like it comes as a byproduct of what all the stuff you've done before. So that's important to understand, because then you can start thinking about all the other stuff you do before that book is even published as the pieces of this iceberg coming up here. Just imagine this bit, this bit, this bit. You get all those right, then you get the money. So what are these bits? First of all, and the bit most self-publishers get wrong, and they're still getting wrong, is the customer. You need a good customer. Most self-publishers are just producing books. They feel like they're just producing books based on, they look at stuff that's selling and think, I'll do a version of that. They're thinking too much about the book. Think about the person that's buying the book. That's very important. The next thing is, gosh, I forgot what I wrote now, because the customer, what was I? Impulse, sorry. That's the problem with being in the sun and swimming so much. I just go into island mode and I'm just too chill to remember stuff. Nuts. But anyway, impulse buy, right? Very important. Probably like 99% of the people that are going to buy your book are going to impulse buy it. All right? Amazon thrive on impulse buys, isn't it? That's why they put, when you go on there for one thing, they're just putting shit all over your screen. They just want you to grab something, and most people do it. Most people just grab. They see your book, they will impulse buy. So again, so many people get this wrong. They're creating books as if someone that's looking at that book knows them, knows what their book's about, knows something about the book. It needs to be kind of you kind of got to create the book based on the fact that no one knows what your book's about, or you, or anything about the book, but you still want to get an impulse buy. Okay. So it's very important. Cover, title, persuasion stack, I call it. Everything they see, if they click, or if they don't click, they see cover and title, and if they do click, the rest of it gets an impulse buy. Okay, very, very important that as well. The next thing, I forgot what this is as well. Oh gosh. Bear with me. Don't leave this video yet because you're going to need to know what the other two are. Otherwise, you're never going to get sales, okay? Unless you grab my program. All right, you know, I'm going to stick that CO bit. Oh, complicated. Here we go. Oh, gosh. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me if you're watching this. I'm sorry I've wasted your time. Complicated. Here's another thing. You know what? Just think of it like this. When you create your book, create it in such a way that a 10-year-old would understand it. Simple. A 10-year-old can look at your book without knowing anything about it. Your book's right there, the cover, title, whatever, and a 10-year-old will ever see it and they'll be able to say, oh, that book's about XYZ. That book does XYZ. Okay? Sounds simple, but again, most people get this wrong. They're doing titles that suck, mean nothing, or it just looks too complicated. It looks too complex. Remember, thumbnail size, guys. People are going to see this at thumbnail size. You've got like 1 second. So keep it simple. All right? The last thing, and this is very, very important, you must get this right because you're not going to just sell one book straight away unless you're, I mean, my guys do, a lot of them do, but sometimes, a lot of the time you won't, right? You're going to do a book, it's not going to work. So you need work flow. You need some sort of system where you can create books that are good, that ticks all those boxes. You test it to market, and then you're able to tweak it, and you're able to keep doing that whilst maintaining your lifestyle and your busy lifestyle, doing this in your spare time. That's why it's very important to have a system so you can have that workflow. And that's what I teach in my program below. All right. Right. So let's summarize this video. Remember, if you want the sales, think of it as the last thing that comes. It will only come when you get these 4 things right. And it won't come if you get one or some or all of these 4 things wrong. So the great thing about that is that it's in your control. All 4 of these are in your control. So you will get sales when you get them right, like my students are doing. And what's so beautiful about that is it doesn't matter what the market's doing. The market has changed so much in the last 6 months, but my guys are still making sales, especially the clients that I work more, what do you call it? I don't really work one-on-one with them, but they're in my program and they get feedback from me. Like the guys that I'm working with like that, none of them started off making any sales. They're making sales in this market, okay? So that's the beautiful thing about having a good system, because it works no matter what the market's doing. So you can't, it doesn't matter, because what's so great is Amazon KDP has so much money. Okay, there's so much money flowing through there. There's even more book sales than when I started like 7 years ago. There's even more books selling now, and even more simpler books selling now. It's ridiculous. People are just creating AI books in hours and they're selling. But it's because they get all these things right. So it's important to get these right so your books are good enough to extract that money from Amazon. Okay, so think about that. Think about the customer first. The person that's actually going to be buying your book, not the book. Think about the customer. Think about being able to get an impulse buy from that customer that knows nothing about you or your book. Think about not wasting that customer's time like I have in this video when I've forgotten stuff. You just literally want to give them a second. They know exactly what your book's about. Very, very simple to understand. And then if that book you create doesn't sell, it doesn't matter, because you have a workflow to test these books to market. And that ultimately, that's what it takes, because you want to keep getting better and better, and you only get better and better by publishing more books. Okay, thanks for watching. And if you want my program that goes into these in more detail and the workflow, especially a good system for you to follow, like my students are doing, I'll leave a link below. Give me a little like if this was of any value to you, and subscribe for more videos. Cheers. See you in the next one.